As we near into the halfway point of the college football 26 first year life cycle, we all more or less know the real issues with the game at this point, from things like blocking being broken for a second year straight to more mundane items like online dynasties taking way more time to load than offline ones. EA has a ton of work to do these next few months to improve their flagship college football game, but like any major business, those things come with high costs, and at the end of the day, EA is trying to turn a profit. So here are the 5 biggest improvements EA could make for College Football 27 that would be the biggest bang for their buck. The first investment that needs to be made by EA this year is by far the gameplay improvements. At the end of the day, most players spend over half of their time playing versus a CPU than anywhere else. Things that have been a real sore point for most players are the blocking, AI play calling repetitiveness, robo QBs, penalties, and pass coverage while on defense. While I'm sure there are more out there to complain about, in my experience and what I have been able to gather from around YouTube and Reddit, these are the 5 main issues. For blocking, user defense, and robo QBs, there have been times in the last 2 years these have been manageable, but it seems like after the first or second update of the season, these seem to get thrown out of whack for the remainder of the year. If I had to pick a single item to improve, it would have to be the blocking, since too many times players have a free lane to the quarterback on pass plays, and play action is a flip of the coin if it's going to work or not. Second on my wish list would have to be the recruiting UI improvements or just baseline quality of life updates. I personally would love a full overhaul of the system, but with it only being the 3rd year, I can understand the hesitancy of that since the recruiting now doesn't really seem all that balanced. For UI improvements, I would like to see things like a 1-page report for your recruit, so I don't have to flip between 3 pages to see a player's stats or what schools are competing for their player or what their deal breaker is. Along with this, they added the new player needs bar to the prospect screen, which was a major improvement from 25, but also having a way to see this on the recruiting board without having to go to another screen would be super useful. Now on the quality of life side, the easiest improvement would be to have a button to offer all recruits a scholarship that are on your board currently. This could save me easily 10 minutes per cycle. Outside of this, adding more spots to the recruiting board would also be beneficial to allow players to weigh their choices more easily as they near into the final weeks of the season, rather than having to constantly remove and add new players as the season goes on. But before we get into the last 3 improvements, let me know below the things that you would improve first if you were EA. Obviously, if money was endless, we could do a lot, but with a tighter budget this year after their acquisition, EA will probably have to pick and choose. And also, if you are enjoying today's video, consider subscribing below and leaving a like before you leave, as it is a free and easy way to stay up to date with the channel and all things college football. The third thing I would improve would be the coaching carousel and how it functions. I think this may be one of the largest issues for some people, as this feature is not only poorly explained, it is also very limiting and can ruin playthroughs for folks looking to move through the ranks of college football. From things like being offered only coordinator spots at minor universities after you had a stellar season at a top G5 program, even when other major jobs are open, to only having 2 weeks of the cycle to fill spots, there are a lot of things left to be desired by this feature. My preferred solution would just be a better transparent explanation of how the feature actually works and some tuning to give more options during the cycle, as well as possibly extending it a week or 2 to allow more coaches to move around. But even a simple addition of allowing players to apply for the certain jobs they want would go a long way with the fan base and allowing players to move freely around the game. My second to last improvement I think we need is an improvement to the sim logic within the game. Although 26 was a vast improvement to 25, it still has a lot of oddities as you progress into later seasons of your dynasty. All too often do I see a G5 team make the title game, which if we are being honest is nearly impossible in today's game. From the surface, I understand to a point of why the game was designed like this, as a way to boost the chances of users rebuilding teams into title contenders, but I have found it often breaks the immersion I look for within a simulation-based game like this. If EA wants to keep this user-friendly approach, I would love to see a slider that allows us to adjust the harshness of the sim system to better resemble real life if we want to. And on a similar note, the game needs to have tiebreakers defined, as a very often occurrence is I'm left wondering why a team didn't make it to their title game, even though on the surface it looked like they should have. And the last update I think we need in College Football 27 as an improvement over this year's version is to have more things to do during the season between the games every week. Whether this is scheduling training for players or having an option to run practices to give weekly passive bonus, or even having scripted interviews with media personnel, the routine for each week has been recruiting, play a game, and then advance. We have seen EA's willing to do this in their Madden franchise as well as in Road to Glory to some extent, but bringing an essence of this to Dynasty would go a long way to improve replayability. While a full-fledged story mode has always been a very volatile conversation topic in the sports gaming community, and having the ability to toggle it off and on to the user's preference is my preferred choice for any improvement to the next game. But with that, those are our 5 biggest things that we want to see in College Football 27 in terms of improvements to the current game. Obviously, we want more things, but again, I think they're going to be pretty limited in what they choose to upgrade or implement this season. So let me know below, what are your thoughts? I appreciate y'all tuning in, and I hope y'all enjoyed, and as always, I'll catch you all in the next one.